going on, people? It is Crazy Curt with Crazy Curt Comics. This is the premiere episode where I am just talking about comics. Um, hey, it's going to be comic-centric, but it's not going to be comic exclusive. We're going to talk about all kinds of things, movies, TV, pop culture, you name it. But mainly, we are going to be talking a lot of comics. I just got back into the game. I'm so excited. I collected comics in the 80s and 90s and up to the 2000s. I grew up in Philadelphia, born and raised, and then I stopped for 20 years, people. I've been out the game for 20 years, but I'm back. All right, I've calmed down now. So let's get back to this video where I'm going to tell you everything that's going on in my world of comics. I have no problem sharing everything that I'm doing here in these videos. But what are you doing in the world of comics? What's going on in your comic book universe? Let me know. Please drop a comment down. Ask me some questions. Let me know what books you recommend this month. What are you reading that's a hot read right now? I'm going to give you an impromptu recommendation right now. I'm going to say two words you wouldn't think normally would go together: wrestling and comics. Perfect mashup right now in Image. Image Comics has a book called Do a Powerbomb. It's a wrestling comic book. Now, I know some of you are going to roll your eyes and say, oh, wrestling. Trust me, even if you're not a wrestling fan, you're going to like this book. It's a fantasy element that's involved, and it is great. Oh my God, it's so great. The graffiti art kind of style of art in this book is cool. The surprise on issue 2, the last page, is the biggest surprise I've ever had in a comic book. My jaw dropped to the floor, and I totally wasn't expecting it. So issue 3 just came out yesterday. I have it sitting over there, and I'm going to read it right after I'm done doing this video. I'm very, very excited. That's my current comic book recommendation right now is Do a Powerbomb. Another one by Image that people are sleeping on is A Town Called Terror. If you haven't been reading that, if you like horror comics, go and pick that up. They're only up to issue 4 or 5. It's about a secret town called Terror, and it's crazy. Every issue, there's a what the heck moment where you're like, I wasn't expecting that. It's crazy. Good book. So 2 recommendations: A Town Called Terror by Image, and also Do a Powerbomb by Image. Go to your local LCS. If you don't know what an LCS is, that is your local comic book store, and go find those 2 books and start your series now. Trust me. Now, if you read these 2 books and you especially Do a Powerbomb, if you read Do a Powerbomb and you get to that end of that second book and you don't like it, you drop me a comment, you private message me, you do whatever you got to do, you let me know, and we'll have it out. Because that hooked me. I was already hooked because I like wrestling, but I wouldn't think that wrestling and comics would go together. But this is a perfect mashup. So I recommend those 2 books right now, and that's kind of what I'm going to do here. I'm going to talk about things I like. I'm going to talk about things that I find out in the wild when I'm searching for comics, and that'll be what the show will be. Sometimes it'll be once a week. It might be more than once a week. It depends on whatever I find and whatever I got time to do a video, and maybe we'll get on a more regular schedule. And hopefully the show will evolve into a regular format. But right now, it's just going to be everything in the kitchen sink format, where I just go through and just tell you what's going on. Sometimes I might just be going through a collection, and the book strikes me, and we just want to talk about that book. But today, I was out in the wild, if you will, and I was looking here in Salt Lake City. They have a bunch of thrift stores in Salt Lake City, so I kind of do the rounds when I get some free time. And I went into a thrift store today, and I walked right in, and boom, it hit me. I don't know about you, but I love to find an awesome deal at a thrift store. So today, here in Salt Lake City, I walked into a place called the DI. If you don't know anything about Salt Lake City here, the DI is the big, gigantic chain of thrift stores, kind of like the Goodwill, but a little bit bigger, for all the families here in Utah. Because if you don't know nothing about Mormons, they like to get at it, if you know what I mean. And there's lots of kids here in Utah, so they have a big thrift store called the DI, Deseret Industries. Lots of great deals can be had there if you're looking at the right times. I walked in there today. They have a huge book section. And if you know who Timothy Zahn is, raise your hand. Timothy Zahn penned the ultimate trilogy of Star Wars books after the original trilogy had come out. His Heir to the Empire books are the best Star Wars books I've ever written, in my opinion. Them things are hard to find. You can't find them anywhere, and I didn't find any of those today. But Timothy Zahn went on to write some more Star Wars books, and one of the characters that he created in the first series of books he wrote was Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, my Star Wars fans, where you at? You know who Thrawn is. Thrawn has appeared in some of the Star Wars cartoons. He is a very cool character, and fans are dying for him to show up in something real, in a real movie. But I found these books. They're only $2 a piece. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Can you see that? Can you see that? $2. So there were 3 books that Timothy Zahn wrote about Grand Admiral Thrawn. There is Thrawn. There is Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, and then he also wrote another one, Thrawn Alliance. I got all 3 of these, $6, $2 a piece. Awesome find today in the thrift store. And that's not it. I got more stuff I found. Now, if you're like me, hopefully you're a fan of Netflix's Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a fun ride through the 80s. I finally got my kids to watch it this year. I have 2 kids, 6 and 8. We watched all 4 seasons when this last season came out a couple months ago, and they love it. They're dying for the next season to come out. You know, it sucks we got to wait 2 years, but this season was great. The seasons before this were great. I know that physical media for movies is a dead, dying industry, but I came across this little unique treat. Since it's set in the 80s, look at this VHS tape that they did for Stranger Things. I mean, it looks so cool. It's VHS. It's even got the fake sticker on there. It's not really there. They even worn down the edges like an old video box. Now, if you grew up in the 80s like I did, you know everything there is to know about video stores. You young people don't know what it's like to go to a video store, pick out a movie, go home, watch it. You used to go to a store and have to pick out the movies right then and there. You didn't just sit in front of your TV and scroll Netflix for 20 minutes trying to find a crappy movie. There was tons of crappy movies at the video store you can watch, and we watched them all as a kid in the 80s. But they made this little keepsake. It's a VHS tape, Stranger Things. It took place in the 80s. They made it look like the 80s. And so I opened it up, and yep, cassette tape, or is it? So I was playing around with this. I looked at it, and it is actually a case for the Blu-rays. All right, and if I pull this little section down right here, it has DVDs right behind it. So it's DVDs and Blu-rays, and I got even a little poster of a Mind Flayer there, all for the first season of Stranger Things. This is an awesome little collectible. I love that they did the cover and they made the tape look like a real videotape. I love that I found this for only $5. I'm not even going to try to resell it. I'm just going to keep this for me because I just thought it was such a cool thing. My kids loved it. They want to watch all the seasons over again. I don't know if I'm there yet. Maybe when it's been a year since we watched the last one, maybe I'll get back into watching it again. So, 2 things I found at thrift stores, but that's not all, people. I walked into a store today and I came across all of these Thor books. Yes, awesome Thor books. We're talking about comics. That's what y'all came here to talk about. Let's talk about comics. So I'm going to go through and show you what I got. I paid $25 for 20 comics. And here's what I got. We got 401. All right, there's Thor and Loki. I got 414. All right. 450. I got 451. And this character here, Blood Axe. He's a guy that looks like a combination of the Red Skull and Ghost Rider. I never did anything with him. He looks cool, but they've never done anything with him. This is probably the biggest book I got out of the collection. It is issue number 459. It's a key issue. It is the first time that Eric Masterson appeared as Thunderstrike. If you're not familiar with who Thunderstrike is, there was like 2 Thors at one time. One was Thor, one was Thunderstrike. You know, but that was my one big key. This book is probably a $15 book, maybe an $18 book. So that was my one big key that I found. The rest is just filler. Like I said, I've been out of the game for 20 years, so I'm just trying to fill my collection. Alright, we got issue number 478. Alright, we got the 400th issue of being called Thor. It's actually issue 482. But the first 82 were called Journey into Mystery. But we're 482 right here. All right. Thor has one of the most confusing title follows in comics, because it was Journey into Mystery, and then it went to being Thor, the Mighty Thor, and then it went to Journey into Mystery again, then it went to Thor again, and then back and forth and back and forth. Oh my God. If you want to rename the book, just stop the book, restart the new title with issue 1, and it makes everything a lot easier. I hate that I wish they just kept legacy numbers throughout everything to make it so much easier. But anyway, this is issue 483. Oh, I'm up there. 483. We got 486. Sorry for the glare there, people. And we got 498 and 499. All right. And 502. And this is Thor Volume 2, issue number 18. And another cool book was a double-sized annuals, Thor Annual 13. This is from 1985. With Mephisto there. This book's not perfect. There's a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of a smudge right there, and there's a little tiny chip on the outside here. But it's cool just to have. It's like the older comics. It's like I feel like I'm owning something vintage when I look at the older ones. And some of these I already had, but got extras. I'll probably just sell them off on a lot. But we got Excalibur stops by, and cameos for 427, 447, another copy of 482. This one has a couple ticks on it, so see if someone wants that. 457 and 424. And I got excited because I saw this and I thought this was the one that's worth like $30. I thought I saw Thor and I saw Juggernaut. I got excited because I know there's an issue that Thor and Juggernaut are in, and it's $20, $30. And it turns out that is not it. This is issue number 429. Because I already owned the other issue I was talking about. I pulled this off the wall just to show you. 411, Juggernaut, Thor. This is the one that I thought this one was, but it turns out it was this one. But still, a nice little collection for only $25. That key comic with Eric Masterson and Thunderstrike, that almost paid for the whole lot itself. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Thor, what did you guys think of Love and Thunder? I personally just thought it was okay. My kids loved it though, so that's all you need to know about that movie. My kids loved it. I thought it was just okay. I personally prefer my Thor to be a little more serious. As evidence, the best part of Thor in the whole MCU is when he shows up at the end of Infinity War and he kicks everybody's ass. The Thor that always wants to fight and is a warrior and dealing with Loki. That's my favorite kind of Thor. I thought this was just a little too comedy heavy. The jokes were some of the same jokes that they were doing in Thor Ragnarok. Now, Thor Ragnarok was the perfect mix of action and comedy, I thought, but these jokes in Love and Thunder were just starting to fall flat. It felt a little silly at times, and I didn't like that part. But that's where it is. What did you think of Thor Love and Thunder? Did you like it? I do have to admit, though, that scene at the end with the kids was pretty cool. I like that. That was my daughter's favorite scene of the whole movie. Now, here's my suggestion for Marvel Comics. Now, they're not going to listen to me. I'm just a nobody here doing a comic book video. But they should put out a Loki comic book. Now, I've been away for 20 years. They may have done a Loki comic book in the past, and maybe it didn't do well in sales. But the same way that DC has done a Joker comic book, I think it's ripe right now for Marvel, especially with Loki Season 2 coming soon, to do a Loki comic book. Loki is such a phenomenal character, so interesting, so many different facets to his personality. So I don't know. What do you think about that idea? Would you read an ongoing series of Loki if Marvel were to put one out? I think it's a great idea. Not that anybody in Marvel is going to listen to what I have to say, because I'm sitting here in my basement doing a comic book video. It's very, very late at night, and they're not going to listen to what I have to say. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have today for Crazy Curt's Comics. I'm Crazy Curt. Thank you for joining me. Please leave me a comment if you like the video, if you think I need to include something, if you like something, you didn't like something. It all helps me get better. So this way I can give you the type of content that you guys want to Watch. I'm about to go read Do a Power Bomb number 3. Go get it at your local LCS. And then I'm going to go to bed. People, it's been real. I'm out of here, and make sure you spread that comic karma, baby. Peace out. Peace.